In the contemporary world, the desire for external validation has reached unprecedented levels. From social media platforms, where people seek likes and followers, to professional environments where success is often measured by recognition from peers, much of our self-worth is determined by how others perceive us. This dependency on external approval can lead to feelings of anxiety, inadequacy, and loss of personal autonomy. However, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers a powerful antidote to this modern struggle. By focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, and letting go of external validation, Stoicism promises a path to personal freedom, inner peace, and fulfillment. The desire for external validation in modern society. One of the defining features of modern life is the pervasive need for external validation. From early childhood, we are conditioned to seek approval from others, parents, teachers, peers, and eventually, colleagues and society at large. This desire for validation is reinforced by social media, where individuals curate their lives to present an idealized version of themselves, constantly seeking likes, shares, and comments as a measure of their worth. While this quest for validation may provide temporary satisfaction, it ultimately leads to a never-ending cycle of comparison, insecurity, and dissatisfaction. External validation is inherently unstable because it relies on the opinions of others, which are often fickle, subjective, and beyond our control. As a result, those who base their self-worth on external approval are vulnerable to feelings of inadequacy and disappointment. Whether it's chasing praise in the workplace, striving to meet societal standards of success, or seeking approval from friends and family, the pursuit of external validation can become a trap that undermines personal freedom and well-being. Stoicism and the dichotomy of control. At the heart of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, a concept that distinguishes between the things we can control and the things we cannot. According to the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, the only things truly within our control are our thoughts, actions, and responses to external events. Everything else, other people's opinions, the outcome of our efforts, and the circumstances of life, lies beyond our control. The key to personal freedom, according to Stoicism, is to focus on what we can control and accept what we cannot. Letting go of external validation is a natural extension of the Stoic principle of the dichotomy of control. Since we cannot control how others perceive us or what they think of us, it is futile to base our self-worth on their approval. Instead, Stoicism teaches that we should focus on our own character, actions, and values, things that are entirely within our control. By doing so, we free ourselves from the anxiety and insecurity that comes from seeking external validation and find a sense of inner peace and autonomy. The role of virtue in Stoic philosophy. Virtue is the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that the only true good is virtue, and that everything else, wealth, status, pleasure, and even the opinions of others, is indifferent. Virtue consists of 4 cardinal qualities: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues are entirely within our control, and they represent the highest ideals that a person can strive for. By focusing on the cultivation of virtue, Stoicism offers a path to personal freedom that is independent of external circumstances. When we prioritize living virtuously, we shift our attention away from seeking external validation and towards developing our own character. This shift in focus allows us to find fulfillment in our own actions, rather than in the approval or recognition of others. As a result, we become less dependent on external validation and more self-reliant, grounded in our own values and principles. Marcus Aurelius on letting go of external validation. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers and the Roman emperor from 161 to 180 AD, frequently reflected on the importance of letting go of external validation in his personal writings, known as the Meditations. As the leader of a vast empire, Marcus Aurelius was constantly subject to the opinions and judgments of others. Yet, he understood that basing his self-worth on the approval of others would only lead to frustration and insecurity. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius reminds himself to focus on his own actions and moral character, rather than seeking validation from others. He writes, "It never ceases to amaze me we all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. This insight captures the essence of the Stoic approach to personal freedom. By letting go of the need for external approval, we can focus on living in accordance with our own values and principles. For Marcus Aurelius, personal freedom meant being true to oneself and one's own moral code, regardless of what others might think. This mindset allowed him to navigate the challenges of leadership with a sense of inner calm and resilience, unaffected by the praise or criticism of those around him. His example serves as a powerful reminder that true freedom comes from within, not from the opinions of others. The dangers of external validation, insecurity, and anxiety. Seeking external validation is a double-edged sword. While it may provide temporary satisfaction, it ultimately leads to insecurity and anxiety. When we base our self-worth on the opinions of others, we become vulnerable to their judgments, which are often inconsistent, superficial, and beyond our control. This reliance on external approval creates a sense of dependency, as we constantly seek reassurance and affirmation from others to feel good about ourselves. Moreover, the pursuit of external validation often leads to a constant state of comparison. In the age of social media, where people carefully curate their online personas, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others and feeling inadequate as a result. This comparison not only fuels insecurity but also creates a sense of competition, where our worth is measured against the achievements, appearances, and lifestyles of others. Stoicism offers a way out of this cycle of insecurity and anxiety by teaching that true personal freedom comes from within. When we let go of external validation and focus on our own thoughts, actions, and virtues, we free ourselves from the need for constant approval. This shift in perspective allows us to cultivate a sense of self-worth that is independent of external circumstances, grounded in our own values and actions. Emotional resilience through Stoicism. One of the most powerful aspects of Stoicism is its emphasis on emotional resilience. The Stoics believe that our emotions are often the result of irrational judgments about external events. For example, when we feel anxious about how others perceive us, it is because we have placed too much importance on their opinions. Stoic philosophy teaches that by cultivating rational thought and emotional detachment, we can free ourselves from the negative emotions that often accompany the pursuit of external validation. Emotional resilience is a key component of personal freedom because it allows us to remain centered and composed, regardless of external circumstances. When we let go of the need for external validation, we are no longer swayed by praise or criticism, and we can maintain a sense of inner peace and equanimity. This emotional detachment does not mean being indifferent to others, but rather recognizing that their opinions are beyond our control and should not determine our self-worth. Practical Stoic exercises for letting go of external validation. Stoicism is not just a theoretical philosophy, it is a practical guide to living a virtuous and fulfilling life. There are several Stoic exercises that can help individuals let go of external validation and cultivate personal freedom. Number 1. Negative visualization. Negative visualization involves imagining worst-case scenarios in order to become less attached to specific outcomes. By contemplating the possibility of rejection, criticism, or failure, we can reduce our dependence on external approval and build emotional resilience. This practice encourages us to confront our fears and recognize that even in the face of disapproval, our worth remains intact. Number 2. Daily reflection. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-examination and encouraged the practice of daily reflection. At the end of each day, individuals can reflect on their thoughts, actions, and motivations, asking themselves whether they lived in accordance with their values. This practice helps to cultivate self-awareness and prevents us from being swayed by the opinions of others. Number 3. Voluntary discomfort. Voluntary discomfort is another Stoic exercise that involves deliberately exposing oneself to discomfort or challenges in order to build resilience. By facing difficulties head-on, we learn to become less reliant on external validation for our sense of self-worth. This practice can include anything from fasting to physical challenges or even practicing emotional restraint in the face of criticism. Inclusion. In a world that increasingly prioritizes external validation and recognition, Stoicism offers a refreshing alternative by emphasizing personal freedom, emotional resilience, and the cultivation of virtue. By focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and character, and letting go of the need for external approval, we can achieve a sense of autonomy and inner peace that is not dependent on the opinions of others. Stoicism teaches that true happiness and fulfillment come not from external achievements or recognition, but from living in accordance with our own values and principles. When we let go of external validation, we free ourselves from the anxiety, insecurity, and comparison that often accompany the pursuit of approval. In doing so, we reclaim our personal freedom and find a deeper sense of purpose, contentment, and fulfillment in life.